Hello everyone and welcome to a new IK video. This is Ken from 73, and in this video we're gonna talk about the hybrid mart and just how OP it is still in the meta, even though there's a lot of recent content only focused or only targeting the hybrid mart. The recent content that we got only to counter the hybrid march, one of these is the heavy lifter. It reduces the immortal attack speed by 50% and weakening curse as well. This skill was supposed to be a nightmare for the hybrid march, but likely purification removes the negative effects of weakening curse, so we found our way around to counter this skill. There was also the first release ever targeted at the hybrid march, which was Toxin Barrier. Toxin Barrier, when it came out, it was so broken against hybrid marches. It used to deal insane amount of damage. However, with time, I think the skill received a secret nerf. It doesn't deal as much damage as it used to, and is actually good for us and bad at the same time, since there's a lot of other people currently that are still using mixed march. And of course, not to mention Oaken Guard, one of the most broken skills that can be used versus hybrid marches. However, it has some kind of a chance to not cover an immortal in the front row. For example, it applies only to 3 random allied units and this could be works in your favor, and I'm gonna explain why in a second. I have a lot of reports here against the famous march that is the main meta for the mega whales right now, the chaos march with Theodora, Athena, Poseidon, Fufei, Theodora, and a holy dragon. And I have my hybrid march. I'm using the old meta for the hybrid march. I'm using the blessings, speed blessing, ward blessing, and the basic skill for Alex and Hani. I'm only using energy suppression to slow down the hybrid march, the chaos march a little bit. And I'm using Spring of Life, Wine Undying, and the new addition into my mixed march, No Escape. And I'm gonna explain why I'm using No Escape. However, in this situation here, you can see he was using Oaken Guard on Fufei, but likely Oaken Guard did not apply to Poseidon in this fight, so Poseidon died before he gets to cast any kind of skills. This is the chance that I was talking about earlier, that Oaken Guard covers only 3 allied units. So in this situation here, it did not cover Poseidon, it only applied to Athena, Theodora, and Fufei, and it did not cover the most important immortal in this march, which is Poseidon. Let's take a look at the reply and see how quickly did Poseidon die in this fight. As you can see, I make sure that Alex is facing Poseidon most of the time, otherwise I'm screwed. And you can see it is only 10 seconds into the fight and Poseidon already lost more than half his HP. Before he gets to cast any skill, or before even Athena gets to cast her ultimate skill, Poseidon lost almost 90% of his HP, and he died even before he casted his ultimate skill. And the rest of the fights, you know, it's the usual, a defensive immortal such as Athena, double healers in the back row, so there is no way that my hybrid march can clear the rest of the fight. The amount of sustain that this march has is just insane. So the fight will end by a timeout. However, I'm not gonna lose that much troops. I believe I lost even less than 2k troops dead, and almost 3k death, and less than 5k seriously wounded. I have more reports against different people. This is Kindergarten. His march is way stronger than the previous report, and you can see he's not using Oaken Guard in this fight. However, the rest of the build is almost similar. They are all using this set of skills on Poseidon, and this is how the damage report looks like. And you can see Poseidon only landed 5 normal attacks, and of course the fight was a timeout. It was 1 minute 30 seconds. Let's take a look at the reply and see how quickly did Poseidon die in this situation. So we're gonna pause at 10 seconds exactly, and you can see Poseidon is almost half his HP. None of the immortals in this fight casted any kind of skills. Still none of them casted their skills, and Poseidon is dead even before any one of them casts their own skill. You see the buff that they have. This is reduce all damage received. I believe this comes from Spring of Life, and they're seriously wounded. Seriously wounded, of course. This comes from my Emperor Ken. This is the Shelter. Reduces magical defense. This is the normal attacks from the bowmen in my march. This is the recent technology that has been added with Castle 55. So you know the rest. Poseidon's dead. This march right now has literally 0 damage. Is not gonna do any damage to my march, and my march cannot clear this fight because of course there's no enough damage in my march to clear a defensive immortal against such as Athena and a double healers. And this has been the same scenario as long as they are not using Oaken Guard. It's gonna be the same scenario. Let's see here. This was against Gab. He's not using Oaken Guard as well, but he's using Fighting Master on Fufei. That means that Fufei gets to cast her ultimate skill without getting interrupted by the no escape that I'm using. This was against Celestial, and now this could be a bit tricky. She's using Fighting Master on Athena. That means that Athena will not be interrupted by the skill that I'm using, no escape. That means that she could trigger guard before Poseidon dies. If this happened, if this scenario ever happened, that means that I'm screwed, of course. Because if Poseidon lives and he gets to cast even one ultimate skill, that means that my march dies. And this was against... I got a lot of reports versus Kindergarten. This was Venge, but you can see here he screwed up the positions. He used Hannibal Barca in front of Poseidon and Alexander in front of Athena. That means that Poseidon will not die as quickly as he should be, and he will get to cast his ultimate skill. You see, this is like around 3 casts maximum of his ultimate skill, and it was enough to clear the entire fight. Now this is a report for another video. This will be all for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and have a wonderful day.